Shotguns, the king of home defense. That sound will remove all intruders from your household. You don't even have to aim this thing. Just point it in the general direction and all targets will be eliminated. Or will they? Let's talk about it. Today, we're going to talk about shotguns. So ever since I got into firearms, I hear all the time, especially from new shooters, shotguns are awesome. I ask people, what is the first gun you want to buy? I hear shotguns all the time. And I ask them why they want that, and they give a variety of reasons. Some are true, some are not. So today, we're going to go over the advantages of shotguns, the disadvantages, and we're going to expel some of the myths surrounding shotguns. So first of all, I want to go over the different platforms that you see kind of on the market. And you don't have everything here, of course. There's so many shotguns on the market today, it's ridiculous. But I kind of have a sampling of the different types and different platforms that you see. So when your average shooter or your average American citizen thinks of a shotgun, first thing they think of is double-barrel shotgun from Westerns or from Looney Tunes or whatever. But this is your typical over-under shotgun. This is not for home defense. I hear sometimes from some people, and myself included, I've been there when I knew less about guns, like, you know what, I want to get a double-barrel shotgun for home defense. Would not recommend. This is just too long for this one particularly, and you only have 2 shots here. What this is really good for, this is a sporting gun. This is a sporting shotgun. You're gonna have some fun stuff with shooting skeet. You're gonna be able to shoot birds with this thing. You might even be able to take out some deer. This is a sportsman's gun. It is not a home defense gun. So next I wanna go over this one right here. This is your typical, what you see in like grandpa's closet. There's a lot of shotguns that just are really old, that come from the last 70 years. Grandpa used it, and he was using it for home defense. Probably not. He was using it to hunt pheasant, and you just kind of have it. The problem with both of these guns is they're really long, and they just don't have a ton of capacity. So I hear all the time, capacity is awesome. Let's have that in a shotgun. That's where this one comes in mind. This is a Sega 12. This is an AK-47 with semi-automatic that shoots shotgun shells. This thing is awesome. The problem that I have with semi-automatic shotguns is reliability. And that's not for all of them across the board. I've shot some shotguns that were pretty reliable. 2 that come to mind is the Benelli M4. Beretta has a semi-automatic shotgun that is 8-round capacity that's actually pretty reliable, and that one's semi-automatic. A lot of them, however, that are clip fed like this are just not as reliable as you want your home defense gun to be. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of firepower, but they're just not quite as reliable as what I would personally choose. What most people recommend when they're thinking home defense shotguns is something like this. This is your average tactical shotgun, and it has a lot of different, this is just kind of an example, but what you want is probably a little bit of a shorter barrel, pistol grip here, and just a pump that's just really easy to slide back and forth. Capacity on this one I think is, I want to say 6 to 8, and not bad. If you're wanting like a home defense shotgun, I'd recommend this one. Okay, let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages. Number 1, shotguns are generally cheaper. Shotguns are cheaper than your average high-end pistol. They're cheaper than your average AR-15. You can buy a pump-action shotgun for $400, $450. Ammo is much less expensive for shotgun than it is for your regular round. So just on the price, you're saving some money there. So this is like your average rounds here. We got a 45 hollow point, we got 9mm, 300 blackout. These are all good home defense calibers. Then we have slug, buck, and 2 different types of birdshot here. You're going to get a variety of ammo. They're going to be way cheaper than these guys right here. And lethality. This slug, the lethality for this slug is way higher than the lethality for this 9mm. Much worse day if you get shot with this than you getting shot with this. Okay, let's talk about the disadvantages real quick. Shotguns generally, and you can get them lower, like smaller barrels usually, but shotguns generally are extremely long. This is not a modular home defense gun. If you're having to take this thing, you know, peek around corners and stuff, do what you need to do, it's going to be much more difficult with this guy than with a pistol or with an AR pistol. Another big one is capacity. This is not magazine fed. This is tube fed. And so what you're getting is, you know, 8 rounds. You can say like this is like 12 rounds or so. This thing is just, man, when I see high capacity drum mags and things like that, or banana clips like this, they're just not near as reliable as the good old pump. You want a pump action shotgun, or you want a tube fed shotgun at least. The other one is ease of use. Who's going to be using this gun? Is it just going to be you, or is it going to be, you know, your wife, your kid, in an emergency situation? I would think that it would be much easier for a person who doesn't have a huge knowledge of guns to have less motions, less moving parts. The shotgun has way more motions than what you're going to get with a pistol or an AR-15. That doesn't mean it's worse or better, it's just a fact. You're going to get more movement with your body and more things you're having to do, load it, rack it, pump it every single time, than you're needing to do with your AR-15. Another one, a disadvantage is recoil. These guys just have way more recoil, especially if you're firing buck, than you're going to get with a lot of your pistol rounds or even a lot of your rifle rounds. Now I want to debunk some myths, and these are myths that are like so alive and so well, and I hear people talk about them all the time. So the 2 that I hear the most is, number 1, the spread on the shotgun is so much and so broad that you don't even have to aim. Man, that is so completely false. And to prove it to you, we're going to go out in the range, and I'm going to prove that a shotgun spread is not as much as you think it is. All right, so I hear all the time that if you shoot a shotgun, everything downrange is a target and it's coming down. That's not quite accurate. So the farther out that you shoot, the farther the spread is going to be. The farther out the target, the more of the spread. So we're going to test that right now. Go ahead. All right. So at about 5 to 10 feet, this is what you're looking at here. You got like, it's spreading a little bit, but you can't even tell. There's like, you're not going to get much more spread than if you're just using like a regular gun. And that's at about like 5-10 feet. This right here, you can see there's a little bit more spread. You can see like the individual shots, but it's still about the size of my fist. And this is about like 15 feet, 15 to 20 feet. Last over here, you're looking at about, 20 to 25 feet, you actually have a real spread, about the size of my entire hand and parameter. Okay, so here's the thing. How big is your house? Is your house massive, so you're going down huge hallways? Or is your house like pretty small, you're gonna be engaging targets about this close? If you're engaging targets about from here to where that paper is right there, then you're gonna see a really small spread. And you're not getting that much on spread different from what you're going to get with a pistol or with an AR-15. Just not. The second myth that I hear all the time about shotguns is the pump sound. Yeah, that will get the intruders out of your house. I know about that. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I do not feel comfortable on relying on a sound for my family's safety. Besides, if you do hear something during the middle of the night, am I going to want to come down to the stairs, kind of like see the intruders and stuff and just be like, get out, kid? Or do I want to rack that thing right there, ready to go, so as I'm like getting anywhere close to the intruder, I'm ready to fire. I'm ready to take, if he's a threat, I'm ready to take down the threat immediately. I don't want to be within earshot racking this thing before I'm ready to fight. Last myth that I hear is shotguns are just incredibly simple. No, shotguns are way less simple. And the reason why is because this is older technology. The technology for most shotguns you see is older than your typical AR-15, your typical pistol. Again, if you are trained with a shotgun, if that's what you have, if that's what you think is important to you, or if that's what you've trained in, use that. If you have never shot a gun in your life and you're looking for a good home defense gun, this is easier. This is way simpler than using this right here. Okay, people think this is way more complicated just because it's an AR-15. It's much simpler firing this than firing any of these guys right here. I fired these guys extensively, fired this guy extensively. This is easier. Lastly, a comment that I get every once in a while is, Tyrell, I don't want to buy an AR-15 because I just really don't want to use that 5.56 round. It's just going to go through the wall, just over penetration. Shotgun's not that too much better as far as over penetration, but it is better as far as penetration goes. What I use for my personal home defense is I use this guy. This is an AR-15 chambered in 45 ACP. It's a slow moving round. It's going to have a lot less penetration than your average 5.56, maybe even a little bit better than a slug. It has 24 rounds in it from the stick mag, and it is completely way more modular than any of these guys that you see right here. You can take it around corners easily. You can add lights onto it, attachments. It's awesome. And again, if you're trained in a shotgun, if that's what you're using, if that's what you feel comfortable with, awesome. Use a shotgun for your home defense. That's what you feel good with. If you're a novice shooter and you're like, I'm just trying to find some way to protect my family, start here. It's an easier place to start than starting here. Again, I'm Tyrell with Redneck Science. I hope that you guys like the information that we had. If you have any questions or any disputes, or you're just like, man, I hate this content, then tell me and I will respond.